What makes a good card? So similar to your portfolio cover, this can be like an eye-catching image on the front. A lot of people may ask you, like, what is this image? Which is a great opportunity to start talking about your work or why you chose it. So definitely don't put something that's going to make you be like, well, I did this and that. Have it be like something you're really excited about, or that's just kind of interesting. Why you should have a card is you're like very memorable if you have one. Every time I've handed someone a card, like half the time they're like, oh, wow, you have a card. Like, this is so impressive. So it's a great first connection with people after you've been talking to them, a way to be remembered and a way to stand out. So this is actually my card here. There's also some on the table and some of my order card too. So you should have your name, your contact info, your major, and also a QR code to your work on the back. So you can show like your portfolio, resume, and website. I actually use Linktree, which is pretty common, I guess. So you can have all these things right here for them to access, and you can just have your portfolio right there. So this is just an overview of what I'm about to talk to you about of how to make it. You're going to download an InDesign template from Avery, design the card in InDesign, and then insert InDesign files into a template, and then print. So printing is like the most painful part of this process, and I suggest you like do not underestimate the printing. So these templates are just from like, if you look up Avery business card template, you'll like get a whole bunch of them. And then this is like the one that I use. And then they have InDesign files that you can download for those templates. So this is just general formatting stuff of like what the size of a business card is up here. So like if you're familiar for InDesign, you're just going to go to File, New, Document, and then, you know, make your card 3.5 by 2 inches. And then the default margins are like not good. So you're going to want to go to Layout and change the margins to, think about like 0.2, like 0.25 is good. We'll do 0.25. And that's kind of how you get your start for a business card in InDesign. I'm not going to design like a whole card for y'all, but I'll show you what is kind of the next step. So once you've like designed your cards in InDesign, what you want to do is like you can design it in one file. Like you could do your front and back in one file, but what you're gonna want to do after you're done with that is go to File and save a copy and make sure they're both in separate InDesign files. So this is like the back of the business card and then the front. The reason why you're going to want to do that is because you're going to be pasting them into this layout here so that you can print them. And so these are actual like pasted in InDesign files, not a JPEG. And pretty much the reason why you're going to want to do that is so that it updates if it changes. So I'll go through like how to place an InDesign file. It's pretty much the same as placing any other sort of thing. So say you want to do like the back. It was a little like annoying to have to line it up here. I just kind of do a rough alignment. And you want to be able to see these lines so that when you're cutting it out, like on that sheet, so when you're cutting it out, you can actually tell where to cut. So sometimes maybe they're in front and you might have to do like arrange and then send to back if you want it to be under those lines. Now, I don't go in and place each one of these individually. What I do is I hit Shift to select them both. You hit Alt, Shift, and then you can drag it down. And you can either do that like selecting all of these and dragging down. The Alt is what copies, and then the Shift is what keeps it straight and orthogonal. And that way it doesn't take a decade to go ahead and make this type of sheet. And so you have this front and back because it is a two-sided business card. But you don't like print it two-sided. I'll go into that real quick. So for printing, you're gonna want to print on cardstock, which the print lab has. So do you, before I move on, actually, do you guys have any questions about what I just went over? Yep. I can't hear you really. Yep. Yep. So you're gonna print on cardstock, which the print lab has for sale. Alex, my informant, has told me they're not expensive. You can either print using the bypass tray, which is on the side of the printer, or the like paper trays. And what you're gonna want to do is put your cardstock in, print one side, and then once you have that printed, you're gonna make sure that it's blank side up in the paper tray, and then you're gonna print the other side. So just a disclaimer, this is like the most difficult part of the process, and ask the print lab people if you need help. It will probably get jammed. It will probably eat some of your cardstock. Like something has always gone wrong. So do not do this like last minute. And then after that, you should have some business cards. If there's any questions, like I may have gone over that a little bit fast, let me know. I'm really happy to help in any way. One thing about business cards, if you'll notice on my two, like the fonts are quite different. The font on the smaller one is 6, and the one with the smaller font is 6. The one with the bigger font is 8. So like maybe 7 is the golden range on that one. The most important thing is just having some sort of card, because a lot of times you might like talk to someone and then leave and then feel like, oh, I wish I could have like stayed connected or had something. It's a really great way to make a first impression.
I'll get fired.